Imagine a life where no setback, insult, or unexpected event shakes your inner peace. A life where the noise of the world becomes background music and every storm a passing cloud. That's not a fairy tale. It's the reality of mastering the 10 core Buddhist principles. These teachings have endured for millennia, not because they sound good in theory, but because they work in the real world. They're not about blind faith. They're about practical wisdom that anyone can apply. If you've ever wanted to become unshakable, truly untouchable by the chaos around you, then this is your guide. These 10 principles aren't esoteric teachings reserved for monks on mountaintops. They're tools anyone can use to navigate the turbulence of modern life with grace and calm. By the end of this, you'll know how to walk through life with a sense of clarity, confidence, and calm that even the fiercest storms can't erode. Let's explore these principles and see how they can transform you into someone who stands firm no matter what life throws your way. Section 1. Impermanence, anicca. Everything passes. The first principle is both liberating and unsettling. Everything is temporary. The highs, the lows, the heartbreak, and the triumphs, they all pass. In a world obsessed with permanence, this can sound like a grim truth. But here's the twist. Once you accept it, you stop clinging to what you can't control. Think about it. How many times have you been consumed by worry or anger, only to later realize it didn't matter in the long run? Maybe you lost a job and it felt like the end of the world. A year later, you've forgotten the sting because something better came along. Maybe you were betrayed by someone you trusted and it shattered you. Yet here you are, stronger, wiser, and still standing. Everything passes. Impermanence isn't about detaching from life. It's about fully embracing it. When you understand that nothing lasts forever, you appreciate the present moment more deeply. You savor the good times because you know they won't last, and you endure the bad times knowing they'll eventually pass. But here's the real secret. Once you stop clinging to what is temporary, you stop being controlled by it. If someone insults you, why hold on to it? It's just words, and soon it will fade. If you're rejected, why dwell on it? Rejection is just a fleeting moment in the vast expanse of your life. Even pain, as intense as it may be, is not eternal. The key is to remind yourself daily, this too shall pass. Say it when you're in the middle of an argument. Say it when you're anxious about the future. Say it when you're overwhelmed by grief. It's not a platitude. It's a powerful reminder that nothing, not even the worst moments, can last forever. One of the most powerful examples of this principle comes from a Buddhist parable. A king asked his wisest advisor to give him a sentence that would always be true, in good times and bad. The advisor simply said, "This too shall pass." The king realized the profound truth. Whether you're basking in glory or drowning in sorrow, nothing is permanent. Knowing this, the king found peace. What would your life look like if you truly embodied this principle? Imagine facing a problem, not with panic, but with calm assurance that it, like all things, will pass. You don't ignore it, you deal with it, but you do so without letting it consume you. That's the power of impermanence. It frees you from the illusion of permanence and gives you back your peace. Section 2. Non-attachment, upadana. Let go to be free. What if I told you the key to peace isn't found in gaining more, but in letting go? Non-attachment, or upadana, is about loosening your grip, not just on material things, but on ideas, outcomes, and even your ego. It's not about apathy. It's about freedom. Clinging tightly to anything, whether it's success, relationships, or opinions, creates suffering. Letting go? That's where the magic happens. We often think attachment is love, but in truth, attachment is fear. Fear of loss, fear of change, fear of being without. Have you ever desperately wanted something, a promotion, a relationship, or validation, and felt that tightness in your chest? That's attachment. It's a chain we wrap around ourselves, convinced it will make us happy. But more often than not, it brings anxiety, not joy. Here's a story that illustrates this beautifully. A man crossing a river by boat suddenly finds the boat taking on water. In his panic, he grabs his heavy backpack, clinging to it as if it's a lifeline. But the more he holds on, the harder it is to swim. If he just let it go, he'd float. That backpack is like our attachments. The more we clutch at them, the more they drag us down. Non-attachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care deeply, but without the need to control or possess. Love someone without needing them to behave a certain way. Work hard without needing the outcome to validate your worth. Enjoy the things you have without fearing their loss. This is the essence of non-attachment, joy without chains. Now here's where it gets practical. The next time you feel yourself gripping too tightly, whether it's to an argument, a goal, or an ideal, ask yourself one question. What am I afraid of losing? That question reveals the heart of attachment. Often the answer will surprise you. It's not the thing itself, but the meaning you've attached to it. Maybe you're afraid of losing respect or security, but those things are internal, not external. And here's the punchline. The less you cling, the more you gain. Let go of the need for constant approval, and you'll find a quiet confidence. Release the fear of losing someone, and your relationships become more authentic. Drop the attachment to success, and suddenly creativity flows more freely because you're no longer paralyzed by fear of failure. There's a famous Zen saying, "Let go or be dragged." Think about that. Life will keep moving, whether you let go or not. Holding on only drags you through unnecessary suffering. The moment you release the grip, you free yourself. You become light, agile, and resilient. One way to practice non-attachment daily is to do something small and intentional. Give something away that you value, a possession or even your time. Notice the feeling of release. Or try this. The next time someone criticizes you, instead of defending yourself, just listen. Let the words wash over you like wind through trees. See how it feels to let go of the need to be right. In the end, non-attachment isn't about giving up everything. It's about no longer letting anything own you. It's not about being a minimalist or living in a monastery. It's about living fully, loving fully, but without chains. Imagine the freedom in that. Imagine living a life where nothing owns you, where you're not tied to any outcome, where you walk through life with open hands instead of clenched fists. That's what non-attachment offers. That's the path to peace. Section 3. Mindfulness. Sati. Mastering the present moment. Do you know where most of our suffering comes from? It's not the events themselves, but the stories we tell ourselves about them. We're either stuck in the past, replaying what went wrong, or lost in the future, worrying about what might happen. Rarely are we here, fully present. That's where mindfulness comes in. It's the art of being here now, fully alive to this moment without judgment. Think of mindfulness as the ultimate superpower. It won't stop life from throwing curveballs, but it will help you respond with clarity instead of reactivity. You don't have to meditate on a mountain to practice it. Mindfulness is available in every breath, in every step, in every sip of coffee. But here's the kicker. Most people miss it because they're too busy chasing the next thing. Imagine you're drinking tea. Are you tasting it, feeling the warmth of the cup in your hands? Or are you mentally composing an email, checking your phone, or worrying about tomorrow's meeting? Most of us are drinking the tea, but we're not really drinking the tea. We're somewhere else entirely. Mindfulness brings you back. It says, just drink the tea. One of the most transformative aspects of mindfulness is how it changes your relationship with pain, whether it's physical discomfort, emotional turmoil, or everyday frustrations. Most of our suffering comes from resisting what is. We feel pain and immediately think, this shouldn't be happening. That resistance amplifies the pain. But mindfulness teaches us to lean in, to observe without adding layers of judgment. Here's a practical exercise. The next time you feel stressed or anxious, pause. Take a deep breath and simply notice what's happening in your body. Don't try to fix it. Just notice. Where do you feel the tension? Is it in your shoulders, your jaw, your chest? Instead of running from the discomfort, stay with it. Breathe into it. You'll be amazed at how quickly it loses its grip when you stop fighting it. There's an old Zen story about a man being chased by a tiger. He runs until he reaches the edge of a cliff and grabs a vine to avoid falling. Below him, another tiger waits. He's trapped. Just then, he notices a wild strawberry growing beside him. He plucks it and eats it, savoring its sweetness. That's mindfulness. Even in the midst of danger, he fully experiences the moment. Mindfulness doesn't mean ignoring the future or pretending the past doesn't exist. It means not being imprisoned by them. It's knowing that the only place you can act, feel, and truly live is here and now. Every time you bring your attention back to the present, you reclaim a piece of your peace. In our hyper-connected world, mindfulness is both a rebellion and a refuge. It's a rebellion against the constant pull of distraction and a refuge from the chaos of modern life. It's also a gentle reminder that life is happening now, not in some distant future where everything is perfect. Perfection is a myth. Presence is real. So how do you make mindfulness a daily habit? Start small. Choose one daily activity, brushing your teeth, walking, or eating, and do it mindfully. Notice every sensation. Whenever your mind wanders, gently bring it back. It's not about doing it perfectly, it's about showing up fully. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. The beauty of mindfulness is that it's always available. No matter where you are or what's happening, you can return to the present. And in that moment, nothing can truly affect you. You're anchored, calm, and free. Life may swirl around you, but you remain steady. That's the power of mindfulness, a quiet revolution in the way you experience life. Section 4. Compassion, Karuna, the power of an open heart. Compassion might sound like softness, but don't be fooled. It's one of the most powerful forces in the world. Karuna in Buddhism is more than just kindness. It's a deep, unwavering commitment to understanding and easing the suffering of others, including yourself. Yes, compassion starts at home, and the truth is, when you embrace it, you become unshakable, not because you're invulnerable, but because your heart is wide enough to hold even the hardest truths. In a world that often praises toughness and self-interest, compassion is a quiet but radical act. It's easy to be compassionate when life is smooth and people are kind, but true compassion shows its strength in the hardest moments. When someone betrays you, when life feels unfair, or when the voice in your own head is cruel. Imagine the resilience that comes from being able to meet pain, not with bitterness, but with grace. But let's make one thing clear. Compassion isn't about being a doormat. It's not about letting people walk all over you or pretending that everything is fine. It's about responding to pain, yours and others, with understanding instead of anger or resentment. It's strength, not weakness. Compassion says, I see your pain, but I won't let it control me. One of the most powerful examples of compassion in action comes from the life of the Buddha himself. After achieving enlightenment, he didn't retreat into solitude. Instead, he spent the rest of his life teaching others how to free themselves from suffering. Why? Because he understood that true peace isn't just about personal liberation. It's about helping others find their way too. Here's a practical way to cultivate compassion. Try a simple exercise called loving kindness meditation. Sit quietly and bring to mind someone you care about. Silently repeat the phrases, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, may you live with ease. Then, extend those wishes to yourself, to someone neutral, and even to someone you find difficult. It's not about forcing feelings. It's about training your mind to approach others with goodwill, even when it's hard. Compassion is transformative because it shifts your focus from self-centered concerns to a broader perspective. When you're caught up in anger or resentment, ask yourself, what's their pain? Often people hurt others because they are hurting themselves. This doesn't excuse bad behavior, but it helps you see the bigger picture. And when you understand, you're less likely to take things personally. Suddenly, you're less reactive, more grounded. Think of compassion like a shield. It doesn't stop the arrows from being shot, but it prevents them from piercing your heart. When someone lashes out, instead of reacting with anger, you can pause and think, what suffering are they carrying? It's not about being superior or self-righteous. It's about choosing not to let others' pain become your own. But compassion isn't just about others. It's about you too. How often do you criticize yourself for not being enough, smart enough, successful enough, or kind enough? Compassion means treating yourself with the same gentleness you would offer a friend. Imagine speaking to yourself with kindness instead of harshness. That inner kindness builds resilience because it creates a safe space within you, one that no external chaos can destroy. The more you practice compassion, the more you realize that it's not a weakness but a superpower. It makes you resilient in the face of criticism, patient in the face of frustration, and peaceful in the face of adversity. Compassion softens the edges of life's difficulties and transforms them into opportunities for growth. And in that, you become untouchable, not because you avoid pain, but because you embrace it with an open heart. Section 5. Wisdom, Panna, and Ethical Conduct, Sila. Wisdom, Panna. Seeing things as they are at the core of Buddhist teachings is the idea that suffering arises from misunderstanding reality. Wisdom, or Panna, is the ability to see things clearly, to understand the nature of existence without the fog of illusion. This isn't just intellectual knowledge, it's experiential. It's about understanding the true nature of life. Everything changes, nothing lasts, and clinging leads to suffering. Wisdom starts with a simple but profound question. Is this true? So much of what causes us pain comes from false narratives. We assume someone's rudeness is about us when it's really about them. We think failure defines us when it's just a step in the learning process. Wisdom allows you to pierce through these illusions and respond to life with clarity. A key aspect of wisdom is understanding dukkha, often translated as suffering, but more accurately meaning dissatisfaction or unease. Life is filled with moments that don't meet our expectations. Wisdom isn't about eliminating those moments, it's about understanding them and not being controlled by them. Here's the practical application. When you feel overwhelmed, step back and ask, what's the story I'm telling myself? Is it true? Most of the time, it's not. Wisdom isn't about being right. It's about seeing clearly and acting accordingly. It's like having a flashlight in a dark room. The obstacles are still there, but you can see them, navigate around them, and avoid unnecessary suffering. Ethical conduct, Sila, living with integrity. Ethical conduct, or Sila, is the foundation of a peaceful mind. It's not about rigid rules or moral superiority. It's about aligning your actions with your values so you can live without inner conflict. When your actions are in harmony with your principles, you experience a profound sense of peace. The Buddha outlined 5 precepts for ethical living. Living ethically isn't just about avoiding harm, it's about actively cultivating goodness. When you live with integrity, you sleep better, think clearer, and face life's challenges with confidence. The beauty of ethical conduct is that it simplifies life. You don't have to juggle lies, manipulate others, or carry the weight of guilt. You live light and free. One powerful example is the practice of right speech. Before speaking, ask yourself, is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? These 3 questions alone can transform your relationships and create a ripple effect of peace in your life. Together, wisdom and ethical conduct create a formidable shield against the chaos of life. Wisdom helps you see clearly, and ethical conduct ensures your actions are in harmony with that clarity. The result? A life that is calm, centered, and resilient. Section 6. Equanimity, Upekkha. Loving kindness, metta, and patience, Khanti, equanimity, Upekkha. Finding balance amidst chaos. Equanimity is the crown jewel of Buddhist practice. Upekkha is the ability to remain calm and composed, no matter what life throws at you. It doesn't mean indifference, it means balance. You're not swayed by praise or blame, success or failure. You stay steady, like a mountain, even as the winds of life howl around you. Here's the secret. Equanimity isn't something you achieve by controlling the world. It's something you cultivate within. Life will always be unpredictable. People will disappoint you, plans will fall apart, and unexpected joys will arise. Equanimity allows you to experience it all without losing your center. One practical exercise to develop equanimity is to practice observing your emotions without judgment. The next time you feel a strong emotion, instead of reacting, pause. Name the emotion. This is anger, or this is joy. Notice how it rises, peaks, and eventually fades. This simple practice reminds you that emotions are temporary visitors, not permanent residents. Loving kindness, metta. Wishing others well. Metta, or loving kindness, is the antidote to anger and hatred. It's the practice of wishing others well, not just your loved ones, but also strangers and even those who have hurt you. It sounds radical, but it's one of the most liberating practices you can undertake. Loving kindness doesn't mean condoning bad behavior. It means refusing to let bitterness poison your heart. Imagine being able to wish happiness even for those who have wronged you, not for their sake, but for yours. It frees you from the chains of resentment. Here's a simple practice. Each day, take a few moments to silently wish others well. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be free from suffering. Start with yourself, then extend it to loved ones, then to neutral people, and finally to those you find difficult. Over time, you'll notice a profound shift in your perspective. Patience, Khanti, the strength of endurance. Patience, or Khanti, is often underestimated, but it's one of the most powerful qualities you can cultivate. It's the ability to endure hardship without becoming bitter, to wait without frustration, and to face difficulties with grace. In a world that prizes instant gratification, patience is a rare and precious gem. Patience doesn't mean passivity. It's an active strength, the ability to stay calm and composed even when everything inside you wants to rush, react, or retaliate. It's the ability to pause, take a breath, and respond thoughtfully instead of impulsively. The next time you're stuck in traffic, waiting in line, or dealing with a difficult person, see it as an opportunity to practice patience. Breathe deeply and remind yourself, this too shall pass. Every moment of frustration is a chance to build resilience. By embracing these 10 Buddhist principles, impermanence, non-attachment, mindfulness, compassion, wisdom, ethical conduct, equanimity, loving kindness, and patience, you build a fortress of inner peace that nothing can shake. Life's storms will come, but you will remain steady, unshaken, and free. Conclusion: becoming untouchable through inner mastery. In a world where chaos, disappointment, and unpredictability are constant, the real victory isn't in controlling what happens. It's in mastering how you respond. The 10 Buddhist principles we've explored, impermanence, non-attachment, mindfulness, compassion, wisdom, ethical conduct, equanimity, loving kindness, patience, and right effort, aren't abstract ideals. They are practical tools that empower you to face life with grace, strength, and unwavering peace. Imagine living a life where nothing can truly affect you, not because challenges disappear, but because you've cultivated an inner fortress of resilience. You'll still feel emotions, experience setbacks, and face loss, but they won't define or overwhelm you. Instead, you'll meet them with clarity, compassion, and balance, like a calm lake reflecting the stormy skies without being disturbed. True strength is not found in avoiding suffering, but in transforming it. Each principle is a thread, and together they weave a fabric of inner freedom, a freedom from fear, anger, and attachment. When you embrace these teachings, you become untouchable, not in a cold, detached way, but in a way that allows you to experience life fully, with an open heart and a steady mind. In the end, these principles don't make life easier, they make you stronger. They don't change the world, but they change how you walk through it. And when you can walk through life with calmness, kindness, and courage, you'll discover the truth. Nothing external can truly shake you, because the power, the peace, and the freedom you seek have always been within you. If these timeless principles resonated with you, if they sparked a shift in how you view life's challenges and gave you a glimpse of what true inner peace feels like, then why not keep the journey going? Hit that subscribe button and join a community dedicated to growth, resilience, and finding calm in the chaos. Here, we dive deep into wisdom that transforms, offering insights that can help you live with more clarity, strength, and compassion. And don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Your thoughts matter, and we'd love to hear how these principles are shaping your path. This is more than a channel. It's a space to cultivate a life where nothing can truly affect you. So, if you're ready to keep building that unshakable foundation, click subscribe, and let's walk this path together. Till next time, namaste.